and welcome to episode 0 of We Got Goosebumps. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Trav.
And this is the very, very first episode of a podcast about the 1990s children's series Goosebumps, written by R.L. Stine, who's from Cleveland, Ohio. Did you know that?
Oh, is he from Cleveland?
He is.
Wow. People like to say the only good thing to come out of Cleveland is LeBron James, but I'm going to tell you, it might be R.L. Stine.
I mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is there, too. I guess it didn't come out of Cleveland. It stayed in Cleveland.
I don't know if I don't know if Cleveland birthed a lot of rock and roll. That's just where it went to die.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with football. Yeah, they get a lot of Hall of Fames up there. It's what they're famous for. Oh, wait, Columbus. Never mind, he was from Columbus. Anyway, I tell you what's old. Goosebumps books. Dylan, we're talking, 20, almost 30 years ago these books came out, and still fresh in my heart. I still love them.
I'm going to be honest with you, Travis. Before you brought this podcast up to me, I probably hadn't thought of Goosebumps in a while. You know, it was just something that was kind of the back of my brain. And then I started thinking about it and then remembering how much of my life had been taken over by Goosebumps when I was a kid. There was many a goose bumped in my house.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
That is one way to put it. Not the best way to put it, perhaps. But I'm trying to say that I greatly enjoyed the books as a kid. And they were, for better or for worse, very formative of who I was and who I eventually became.
Yeah.
This feels like an interview of just a terrible person. Either like just a very corrupt politician. Maybe not a serial killer, but I feel like I just opened up in a very weird way just now, and I don't like it.
You did. I feel like that's just like the top layer to why you have a cement slab under, things buried under a cement slab in your backyard. But, we're not going there, folks. We really are just covering the books. It's children's horror, but we've been reading them. We've read them as kids. We've read a few to get ready for this here podcast that people are going to hear. I think they hold up pretty well. They're pretty good, pretty fun to read. Short reads, obviously, which makes for a good podcast fodder. We're not out here reading Moby Dick. We're reading 120-page books. It takes me 4 hours, Dylan. I'm a slow reader. But you're cranking through them in what? What are you clocking yourself at? Hour, maybe? You're so fast.
You're talking so fast. I would say that, I can probably read one if I actually sat down and fought through the ADHD 30 minutes.
Wow, what a bragger.
Yeah.
Wow, you're just flipping pages, man. That's crazy to me. Well, they are great. So this podcast, we're going to be, folks, we're talking, the first original series had 62 books in it. You think we're going to get to 62 episodes? You better freaking believe it, right, Dylan? We're going to stay alive long enough to do a bi-weekly seasonal podcast that covers at least 62 books. And that's a promise I made my family. I said, I'm going to live long enough to finish at least the original run of books for this podcast.
Worst case scenario, we'll keep recording. Even if we go offline, even if things go haywire, we'll keep recording. And so even if we die untimely, those episodes will still keep coming out. Those episodes will still be there because we're that committed to Goosebumps.
We'll do them as ghosts.
As ghosts. That's very fitting for at least 3 of the books. That's just right. Very topical.
And you read these books as a kid. I read a few of them. I think you read a fair bit more than I did. I was denied these books a lot because my mom didn't love me. But I was able to get them back as an adult, running through the flea market, going through the garage sales, getting these back, taking my chance. I'm going to read Goosebumps as a grown man. I'm going to get my bumps, I said. And I have. I have a whole full set minus like 2 of the originals right now. And I thought, what better way to make use of a good collection than actually read the things? I don't want to be the big dum-dum running around reading literature made for 8 to 10-year-olds. Let's make a podcast about it. That's what grown men do. They flip it, they make a podcast about it, and that's what we're doing here, folks.
I'm a little horrified that I'm finding out now that, because I don't know if I just never knew this. I thought you had started buying the books to do the podcast, but you're telling me that you bought the books ahead of time. You started a collection. You started another collection. And then decided with that new collection to start another podcast, which at this point, Travis, is a collection in itself for you.
Yeah, bit of a collector.
I feel like I'm enabling just a very sick man. And I'm sorry to his family. Most of his friends are podcasters, so there's no help for you there. But I'm going to keep doing this because, you know what? It's too much fun.
It is fun.
And I'm only on 2 podcasts, so we're okay.
Hey, man, I'm only ahead of you by 3. You're catching up. So, Dylan, how do we know each other? I mean, you kind of came into my life through podcasting, obviously. It's how I meet everybody these days. But I was drawn to you. I was like, man, this guy seems cool because his profile pic has a Jason mask on. So I know he and I going to have a lot in common. We're going to have a big kill count, and we're probably going to be into the same movies and books. Turns out our kill count is the same. From what I understand, we're both at 0, and I love to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just wanted to get your reaction there. It seemed like you hesitated a little bit. I won't press. But again, we both like the scary movies. You already have another scary movie podcast with our pal Jeff. Then we come together on this. So I think if anybody's going to do this podcast and do it right, Dylan, it's going to be 2 nearly professional podcasters with a taste for the horror. Might as well be us.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. And you're getting it wrong. I didn't meet you through podcasting. I jumped aboard the Nest Friend bandwagon.
Oh.
And then it was only after following you on Twitter for, I think, about 5 or 6 years before I was finally like, what is this podcast that he keeps talking about? And, you know, that's a whole other thing. So, no, it was actually through your very charming your Nest Friend videos.
Yeah, a different side of me. And, you know, I would say that's my Goosebumps output, you know? That's my Goosebumps, is my Nest Friend. It's very kid-friendly. I keep it pretty light. I don't get as raunchy as I do on my podcast, which is more of my Fear Street. That's my Fear Street right there.
I don't know what the X-rated version of Fear Street is, but that is what those are.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
It's like Boogie Woogie Boulevard or something like that.
I'm so glad you jumped in there because I was trying way too hard to be like, what is the worst thing I could think of? And thank goodness you came in with Boogie Woogie Avenue because that could have
Boogie Woogie Boulevard. Come on, get it right.
I'm sorry.
Well, okay, real quick here because we don't want to make this first episode too long. It's supposed to be just a light introduction to what people can, you know, expect out of these upcoming episodes. Clearly, people know that we're a couple lighthearted, fun guys who may or may not have killed someone because that seems to be the ambiguous thing that we've left out there. But
let's just say, on average, between the 2 of us, we have killed half a person. Let's just put it that way.
So that means one of us has killed a person.
Or each of us killed half of a person, which is not a chargeable offense in any state.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, you can't kill a person in piecemeal.
I'll have to look that up. That feels. I'm not sure that feels right, but the what I'm trying to get to. Let's talk a little bit about R.L. Stine himself, because the rest of the series we're going to be talking mainly about the books, but we know a little bit about the guy because we did a little research going into this. Who is this R.L. Stine guy? Is he a cool dude? Is he worth having a whole podcast dedicated to a single book series? Well, it turns out R.L. Stine, pretty cool guy. He's still putting out Goosebumps books. He's still putting out tons of kids' books, like monthly almost. He's got Slappy World still going. He's had a lot of like other side projects going on. He's got movies these days. He's hanging out with Jack Black.
He just released Stine Tinglers, which is spine, but you know, Stine.
Oh, right.
But which is a collection of short stories, which I still haven't read yet because someone is keeping me on just a brutal reading schedule right now for different things, and I don't get to talk about Stine Tinglers on the podcast.
You said it takes you a half an hour.
I know, but that's all the time I give myself to read is that half an hour, and you've made me fill it with Goosebumps, which I'm not complaining about.
It takes me like a whole week. I had to delay a week to record because I was like, I don't know if I can get through the book about the dummy before next week.
That's why you got to get an audiobook, because then you can do the dishes, walk your birds.
I like to take my notes. I like to sit out on the porch with my kitty cats and take my notes. I'm an old lady when it comes to...
I'm glad you like to take the notes, because then we would be in deep trouble, because I do not take notes while I listen to audiobooks at all. So...
Gotta take note. I mean, just for this, I do it. Well, you mentioned the short stories that he's coming out with, the Stine Tinglers, but before Goosebumps, old R.L. Stine, bit of a jokester.
Yeah, he did.
Wrote a bunch of jokey books.
He wrote joke books, I believe he started a few of his own joke magazines in the 70s and 80s, for kids. Went by Jovial Bob Stine. That's how...
Jovial Bob Stine.
That's how much he was into humor. Although, let's be honest, there's still humor in his books,
yeah.
And you see that thread of children's humor, that the hijinks that happen, and just kind of the crassness of some of the things that happen to the kids. But
yeah, and honestly, Jovial Bob Stine is a scarier name to me. If Goosebumps were attributed to Jovial Bob Stine, that would be terrifying.
Oh yeah, I
almost wouldn't read them.
There's so many different, I can already see the guy who's in his late 40s, hasn't shaved, put the clown makeup over the stubble, wearing a very dirty derby hat. He's like, "I'm Jovial Bob Stine. I got some jokes for you. You just got to get into the wood
his own
chipper."
first name.
He does. He drinks a lot. That happens when you drink a lot.
Which makes it sound like he didn't just come up with that name. My name's Jovial Bob Stine. Yeah.
And to trip over the Bob over it, it's like, "Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Your name's Jovial Bob Stine?" And he's like, "Yeah, Jovial Bob."
Hey, here's some notable R.L. Stine trivia. Now, Dylan, did you watch Eureka's Castle as a kid on Nickelodeon?
I did. I watched it quite a bit, actually, even though it came on at 6 a.m. before the other shows. But no, it was a lot of fun. Did you ever see it? Or
I loved it. I was a huge fan. I think you and I are the same age, so it makes sense that we would mesh on not only Goosebumps, but all of the Nickelodeon programming as well.
I always loved Batley.
Right?
Was his name Batley?
Yeah.
It was Batley, right?
That sounds so right, though. That sounds so right.
We had a cat named Batley, so I'm not entirely sure. I might have crossed, but he was a bat who he tried to fly. He just wasn't very good at it, and I think he wore tracksuit.
Yeah,
because he was always trying to
Yep, his name was Batley, voiced by Jim Krupa, egotistical, clumsy blue bat who wears glasses due to being nearsighted.
He would just fly through windows.
Oh, here we go. Here's some more fun facts. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned yet, R.L. Stine was the co-creator for that show. Yeah, and for Batley, in a 2016 Reddit AMA, R.L. Stine said that Batley's face was modeled after his own son's, Matt.
Oh, that's
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad. I gotta love that R.L. Stine. Well, it's not just the books that are the important part of Goosebumps. It's not just the written word. It's not the cliffhangers. It's not the chapters. It's not all the fun, hijinks the kids get into. A lot of it, for me, the covers lure you right in. And we talk a little bit about that in the episode. So each episode, we haven't even talked about what we do in these gosh dang episodes, Dylan. We do a little intro. We hang out for a little bit. We talk about how the specific themes of the story, maybe some events in our life that might play into that. Where you think about the first episode, Welcome to Dead House. We're going to talk about, have you ever been in a scary house before? You ever been in an abandoned house before?
Have you ever died?
We go through all of that. Have you ever died and been a ghost child in an abandoned town?
That is the last thing I often say to people.
Is that your ghost checker thing? You just to make sure this guy's not a ghost. Have you died, sir?
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, and did you want diet or regular?
No, you don't say that where there's cameras, Travis. The covers are a huge part. I feel like a lot of times art will hit you a little harder than the printed word, as much as I hate to say that, as much as I hate to admit that as someone who can't draw. I can write pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't draw.
We got to bring that up too. I'm going to table that. Keep going with the covers.
But I think about the books, the scary stories to tell in the dark, that has the black and white ink wash drawings in them, like terrifying. And same with the Goosebumps books, like every cover to greater and lesser degrees, like always used to like draw me in as a kid, whether it was the boy's head on a bee flying straight at the camera, and he does not look happy about the situation, but he's also not terrified. He's just kind of like, Mondays, right?
Who's a bee now?
Or the just seeing the shocker on Shock Street, and those titles too that just would almost perfectly line up across the just really connected in. Seeing like monster blood and the green slime coming down the stairs, just those really evocative images going with those titles really would sell it.
Yeah, I think Tim Jacobus's work on a lot of those covers did a good amount of heavy lifting early on in the series to get kids in those books. And then once you're in there, you're hooked. R.L. Stine's got you. He's not going to let you go. So many good chapter cliffhangers. And so to bring it back to the format, we do go over elements and themes from the books that apply to our lives as kids specifically, or usually, maybe some adult spooky stories if we have them. And then we do go into those covers. We talk about what we like about the cover. We describe it. You can go see it for yourself. We're going to put the links in the show notes for every episode. We talk about who drew them. We also, another fun thing that we do, and Dylan's big on this, we like to go through those international covers and see what were those Brits up to. Because they're crazy with the covers anyway. I mean, if you're out there listening, Brits, we think you're fine. But whoever was drawing your covers painted you in a bad light.
For evil to win, all it takes is for good men to do nothing, and the men and women who stood by and let those covers happen are just as culpable for those covers. I
agree, and I trust me, I am as upset as you. I'm just bottling it up a little bit better. They're rough, folks, but we're going to talk about them every single episode. We're going to get to the British cover. The Korean cover is usually terrifying. The Dutch one is quaint. So that's going to be a theme throughout.
And also terrifying, but in a different way. The Dutch ones are terrifying in the way where you pull up to the bed and breakfast that you booked that didn't have a lot of reviews, and you pull up to the address and it looks a little dilapidated, and you spend like 5 minutes in the car with your wife saying like, is this the right place? Should we back out of it? Like that's what all the Dutch covers look like. Just that kind of feeling of unease about like, I think even if this is the right address, we're going to act like it's the wrong address and back out of
Right,
here.
yeah.
That's what the Dutch, just sinister women holding knives in doorways.
Yes, and it has that Babysitter's Club aesthetic too, so it seems soft and warm, but it also seems murderous and vile.
It's definitely the Babysitter's Club. They did do like a series of mysteries, I think, that were kind of... I didn't read them, I don't think. But they had a more sinister vibe to them than the ones that's just like, here's Tammy and the two blonde twins that are causing a heck of a lot of trouble.
Man, maybe we'll do Spooky Babysitter's Club for some bonus episodes if this podcast lives on. But
it'll just take over the whole series. It's just gonna.
We'll have to change the art and the freaking title of the podcast.
No. We'll just call it. We'll call it. Let's get baby bumps. Oh no! Actually,
let's get pregnant.
Sorry.
Is that what you just said?
Yeah. No, I didn't mean it. No, I was thinking like baby instead of goose, but that doesn't really. That's bad. Never. I'm sorry.
Back it all the way out. Back it all the way out.
Listen. Yeah. Let's talk about artists.
Well, we already did. You're all out of sorts. It's okay. No one's mad. I think everyone's having fun. Everyone's having. This is what you can expect and more, folks. You get those gooses bumping. This is what happened. You get Dylan out of sorts. I did want to mention though, a couple things. We do plan, perhaps, to have some bonus episodes. We're constrained by what R.L. Stine writes, and eventually, if this lives on, we'll run out. We'll catch up to him. I think,
But we could talk about the movies.
I was going to say, we got the movies, we got the TV shows, we could even bring the games into it, and we could do some little spin-offs. We could do Scary Stories to Read in the Dark, a couple of those. We could switch over to Fear Street. It's wide open. So we're looking forward to our future together as podcasters. So the way this is going to work, these are going to drop seasonally. We're going to chunk it up 10, 11, 12 episodes a season, bi-weekly, then we'll take a break Then we'll come back into it.
Each episode covering a single book.
Each episode covering a single book will be named after said book, and the title of the episode, or the cover of the episode, cover of the book will be the cover of the episode, the art, and we'll have all that stuff in the show notes. And the last thing I wanted to mention, Dylan, I wanted to bring up your horror adjacent hobbies that you do. We already mentioned that you do another podcast with our pal, our mutual friend Jeff, who goes by Mook in some corners of the world.
I didn't say we were sharing him.
I share him as a friend. I've told
no, but you share friends means you get a new podcast host. I'm not sharing friends with you because I don't.
He and I have a vested interest in NCAA football, and I thought maybe he.
No.
What? Come on, we were going to call it First and 9. It's a clever spin on foot. Come on, let me have it.
I thought you were out of interests at this point, and like that you didn't have any more. I forgot about sports. Right. I forgot about true crime. There's still so much you could podcast about.
Listen, I'll leave Jeff alone. But folks, you should listen to Split Up. Dylan and Jeff just started that podcast as of this recording, and really this will go up in a couple of weeks, so there won't be too many split ups for you to catch up on. But tell us a little bit about that, Dylan. It's been fun so far.
So Split Up is a horror movie podcast where Jeff and I pick a movie for the other to watch. So, for example, our first episode, we each decide to choose a movie from our favorite genres for the other person to watch. One of my favorite horror genres is slashers. I can't make that agreement across the board. I think that's right, but it doesn't sound right. But
you really butchered that.
I hate it. Slashers. I love slasher movies. I love slasher movies. I love slashers.
Can verify.
I do. So, because I love slasher movies, Jeff is going to watch Black Christmas, which he's never seen before. And because Jeff loves creature features, he picked Silver Bullet for me to watch, which I have seen before, but I'm pretty sure I was very drunk or very young when I saw it, or both. Because I did not remember. I only remembered that Gary Busey was in it, which is enough to rewatch anything. So the podcast is basically a way for us to talk about who we are through the movies we like, and hopefully getting the audiences also into that conversation.
And folks, if your horror appetite isn't wet enough or satiated enough from being so gosh dang wet, maybe that's what I mean to say. Dylan also, and he doesn't do it as much as I want him to, but he's written some spooky stuff in the past.
I don't like that you went from being wet to Dylan doesn't do as much as I'd like him to, but still. Like,
he's been a little dry on the written output as of late, but I mean, we're talking to a guy. I'm just saying, Dylan knows his stuff.
I've written some horror stories, and anyone is interested in a frontier era gothic horror in the style of, like, say, Yellow Wallpaper. I've got something, so just let me know. And you hate sheep. But yes, if you are interested in seeing what I write, when I do occasionally write, if you go to dylancharles.net, that website has links to my short stories on the internet as well as on Amazon. And occasionally, like once every 5 years, I post a blog entry. So
yeah, there you go. And that's all in the show notes. All those links are there. You don't have to remember any of that, folks. You just got to scroll down, clickety-clack on that. Well, that I think it's going to wrap us up, you know? We got a whole podcast series ahead. I can't wait to go through these with you, Dylan. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's already been fun. I'll tell you, folks, it's been a good time. So be sure to check us out on the social media. You know, on Twitter, I'm at Trav Plays Games. Dylan, he is personally at Dylan, or D Charles. D Charles. And the podcast proper at Say Cheese and Pod. And if you're a big fan of the Goosebumps already, you know that reference. You can also email us at wegotgoosebumpspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Chime in with your own memories of the books or your own spooky stories from your childhood. Maybe we could do a bonus episode where we read some of those as well. We wouldn't count that out. Please head on over to polymedianetwork.com where you can find other podcasts from every friend I've ever met. If I have a friend, they've done a podcast. You can find all of that over there at polymedianetwork.com. A lot of gaming stuff, movie stuff lately, so we're always adding on. And if you would like to support what we do, please check out patreon.com/polykill. That's POLYKILL. And see if there's a tier that works for you. Every little bit of help that you provide there helps out the network, helps out this show, and we would certainly appreciate it. And we want to shout out and thank a couple of our other friends for helping us out. Our pal Briz for coming up with our spooktacular theme music, and Brother Bodie for our goosebumpin' art. Thanks, guys. All right, Dylan, lead us into episode 1.
Amanda and Josh think the old house they have just moved into is weird, spooky, possibly haunted. And the town of Dark Falls is pretty strange, too. But their parents don't believe them. You'll get used to it, they say. Go out and make some new friends. So Amanda and Josh do. But these new friends are not exactly what their parents had in mind. Because they want to be friends forever.